Hey all, Siege here, and today I wanted to give my thoughts on Warframe at the present, as DE has released some fairly big news regarding truncating their dev streams to once a month, as well as trying to go with a more, let's say, scripted narrative in the future. Also, it would appear some of the people who frequently watch this channel are starting to get the idea that I might be moving on from the game, and I wanted to address that as well. First though, regarding the dev streams, I'm really on the fence with this move, as I do see positives and negatives coming from it. Obviously, much of the off-the-cuff banter and I think many other people have really enjoyed in the past for its honesty and somewhat lightheartedness will at least in part be sacrificed, and while that is something I'm going to miss, I guess at this point I have to look at it as kind of a double-edged sword. I think having a structured dev stream will allow DE to say exactly what they want to versus allowing the excitement of the stream to carry them to saying things they can't necessarily deliver on, and this will almost certainly become a positive moving forward in regards to what we think we're getting as opposed to what actually comes, and maybe more importantly, when. More realistic expectations of the game the developer can deliver on will make the company seem more reliable in the eyes of many, and I think they can begin to share in some of the hype Destiny seems to always garner with new content drops, even when those tend to disappoint just as much. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get to see a true roadmap where dates for launches will appear months in advance and actually happen on those specific days regularly. I don't think I need to tell you how much goodwill that will generate with the current and future player base, especially if the content they deliver during that time is, let's say, more stable than what we've been used to, in particular the poor PC community. Look, being a console player, I have never liked the fact that updates come to the PC first, generally without even a date for when consoles might see the stuff, but I feel like my grief pales in comparison to what many PC players have had to deal with when the content actually does drop. Like it or not, the console versions, delayed as they are, still typically play much better, have a better economy as far as the grind is concerned, and provide an overall better impression of the new stuff that's just been dropped into the game, meaning generally more players might stick around and keep playing, and that should be the goal for all of Warframe's content, right? Personally, I feel for all you PC Warframers out there, because I've seen what some of it looks like at launch for you, and have said to myself on more than one occasion after watching your experience that I wouldn't boot that content up again until it's fixed. Maybe not at all. Thankfully, you've been troopers for the community, so here's to you. That being said, in the time I've played Warframe, which is approaching half a decade at this point, I don't think I've ever seen the dev team more drained and just less full of life than in recent dev streams. I'm not sure if they don't know where they want to take the game, if they're upset that some of their more ambitious projects didn't pan out like they thought, they're just burnt out on making content for the game, or maybe it's just a little bit of all of that. But no matter what it is, it's probably better for them to just take a bit of a break from the on-the-fly live content and focus on what they feel is important. And with that in mind, I want you all to know I'm not leaving the game or anything. Yes, I'm going to put out more content for other titles, as just like investments, it's good to diversify in the YouTube game, because you never know what's going to happen. Heck, if Warframe were to decide to just stop the game and make a new one, where would that leave this channel? However, the lore of Warframe has always been the pull for me, with the core gameplay coming in a very close second, and I've said on multiple times that when I'm asked to play normal Warframe, I love it. It still has what I consider to be one of the most interesting movement mechanics in gaming, and the guns and Warframes add so much satisfying feedback that when I play now, that's generally what it is. I don't like Railjack. I've tried it numerous times, I've built my own, I've made it through the star chart, and I just don't like it. I feel like the Archwing does a much better job of what Railjack attempts to do, and furthermore, given what it looks like to try to find a group actually playing Railjack these days, at least on Xbox, it's become a task in itself, especially in the later areas of the map. If it were me, I'd ditch the whole thing, but they seem to want to push forward with it, so I suppose we'll just see what the newer stuff brings. I'll make my assessment of it when I play it, but I'd be lying to say I won't be at least a little negatively biased going in. Hopefully, I'll be given a pleasant surprise. I'm not particularly enamored with the open worlds either. I don't think they add enough to the game to justify the work they require to create. The exception would definitely be the Eidolons in PoE, as I still think that's one of DE's best additions to Warframe. But past that, even the planes don't really hold my attention. It's disappointing that they seem to have moved away from long story quests, as I still believe their storytelling is something they don't give themselves enough credit for, and the quests allow for the story to be the focus rather than what feels like side content tacked onto the open world maps with their respective mini-quests. Will the Deviri Paradox play more like the Second Dream or the War Within? Maybe, but who knows when it will even come out. Hopefully this restructure of their live streams will aid in bringing that into the fold sooner than later. Here is the thing you should know though. There are a few outstanding story threads that I just have to see what happens next. So that will always tie me back to this game. I want to know what happens with the new war, and I love how they have it set up. The Stalker is a concept I need to see to the end. The subtle hints towards characters like Era, Ballas, the Lotus, Albrecht and Trotty, and the true story of the Tenno not necessarily being what we think intrigues me, and I gotta know what's gonna happen. So until either that stuff happens, the game, or my channel finally dies, I'm here. I just want to be able to post other stuff as well because I play other games and have equal fascination in many of those as well. Many times I'll even equate those games with ideas I find in Warframe, which I really enjoy seeing the parallels that can be established between different games. And if I'm able to bring more games onto the channel to help accentuate what I'm already trying to do, it's only going to make for more interesting content, as well as allow me a fresh perspective on whatever I cover given the diversity of what I'm trying to implement. I like doing lore for this game, but it's not the only one I want to share with you all, so just look for all kinds of interesting stuff this year. I have a lot of ideas I'm hoping to bring to fruition in 2021, so I hope you enjoy them. Overall, I feel like this will be a positive move for the game, although we will lose a bit of DE's personality, and that does sting a little bit, because it's something I've always come to enjoy. But I think you all can agree that the community wants strong, stable content over interesting or funny dev streams, so I get why they're doing it, and I still very much believe in this game, and the people who are making it, even though, Steve could certainly ease up on his particle effects infatuation. But I'm extremely excited for the next-gen Xbox update, because I already thought the game looked great, but after seeing what the PS5 version looks like, as well as seeing how much of an improvement this type of update made in Destiny 2, I shit you not, it looks and plays like a completely different game. Well, it can't come soon enough for this old boy. With that being said, I just wanted to say, thanks for sticking with me. I have never been what I'd call a good YouTuber, especially with my erratic post schedule, but I see many of the same names in the comment section consistently, and my subscriber count generally doesn't go down too much, even during the months I don't put anything out. So I both acknowledge and very much appreciate your commitment to this channel. As you might have already noticed, I've been posting more often, and I plan to continue to do so. I just hope you all keep enjoying what I'm doing. At any rate, I hope you all have a wonderful day today, wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk at you all in the next one. Bye.